Lance Wilmore, Home Loans with Lance. How's it going, man?
What's up, Jared? I'm doing good, man. How are you today?
I'm great. A little bird told me you had a birthday over the weekend.
Yeah, man. Turned 39 years young. Love it, man.
Awesome, man. It's only one year till the big milestone
The
there.
big 40 is coming up, man. It's knocking at my door. I haven't let it in yet, but it's definitely knocking, man.
I like it.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate you jumping on. So I'll tell people watching that we've known each other for a long time. Lance and I go way back. We both worked in a call center for Bank of America doing mortgages. Gosh, what year did you start there, Lance?
man. 2011, August,
Yeah.
August 2011 to be exact, man. It was 1 month before my daughter was born. My daughter was born September 2011, and I jumped in there in August, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, I just wanted to interview you here and talk about your career and what you're seeing in the mortgage world. So we'll start with your background. You mentioned your daughter. Why don't you tell us a little more about your family?
Yeah, man. So I have two kids. My daughter is 11. My son is 9, and we live here in McKinney, Texas. My beautiful wife as well. She's a nurse. She works up at Texas Health Resources. We've been living in McKinney since about 2006. Man, I moved here as a transplant from Louisiana as a result of Hurricane Katrina, and been loving it ever since. Man, McKinney's a great place to live.
Awesome, man. Do you guys make it back to Louisiana much?
Every now and then, we have a lot of family down there. My mom still lives there. Lots of uncles and cousins, things like that. So every now and then, man, we'll pop out and we'll drive down there. Yep.
I forget who it was, but I had someone over the weekend on my Facebook feed who had done a crawfish boil, and he said that he did it because nobody in Dallas knows how to do it, so he had to do it himself. So
Yeah, man. It's interesting. When I moved here, I had to get used to it, man. I saw people sprinkling seasoning on the outside of the crawfish after they were cooked. That is not a Louisiana thing at all, man.
not how it works, huh?
Not how it works. No.
Good stuff, man. So how did you get into mortgage in 2011? Had you done any mortgage prior to that?
Yeah. So Bank of America is where I joined in 2011, but I actually got into the mortgage business in 2005, man. So I'm kind of a dinosaur in this business. A good friend of mine, this guy named Antoine, he was a branch manager for AmeriQuest back in the day, man. And AmeriQuest kind of ended up shutting down, and he went to a company called First and LC, where ultimately he recruited me as a loan officer. And I worked there until the mortgage crisis in 2008 when they just shut all their branches down.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. So you and me both, man. We survived the recession and all
yeah,
that
yeah,
back then. So
yeah,
that's awesome, man. So speaking of your career, today is kind of a big day in your career because
yeah,
you've made a move.
yeah, yeah.
So you were with Bank of America from 2011 essentially to 2023. It's about 12 years there.
Yeah.
And where have you moved to?
So my new company is Edge Home Finance. So I'll be doing loans under the moniker. You could call it Home Loans by Lance, Home Loans with Lance. But I'm powered by Edge Home Finance, and what we do is we find the best pricing, the best loan programs for our clients. We have the option to shop among about 50 different lenders, and so that way we can assure our clients that we're getting them the best deal and the best pricing on their financing.
That's awesome, man. Any other factors that went into you making that choice? Because essentially you're going from a platform with a national bank that has lots of inbound, clients, lots of in-house clients, if you will, to a place where you're going to have to be more entrepreneurial, go out and, what's the term, kill what you eat what you kill.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably not the best thing to put on your marketing material, but what are some of the things that went into that decision for you?
Man, well, just a lot of changes happening in the market. As you know, interest rates have definitely started to change since the last couple of years. We've seen an uptick in interest rates, which caused a lot of slowdown with the bigger banks. But more so, it's really the people who I have in my network. Are essentially real estate agents. You know, the real estate agents that I work with are very good about sending me referral opportunities and putting me in front of their clients on a consistent basis. And so just doing the math, Jared, it made more sense for me to step out on my own because I didn't necessarily have to rely on the banks leads and opportunities anymore. And so because of that, I was confident enough with the support of the network that I have to step out on my own and do things my way.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So how long, moment of truth here, how long had you been thinking about that? Because I think that's very scary. I I started in the call center just like you with Bank of America, and
Yeah.
that was probably the scariest transition I ever made professionally. Was leaving an environment where business is brought to you. Obviously, you had to work hard to get it to the finish line,
Mhm.
but you're going from being an employee to being almost self-employed. So how hard was that decision, and how long had you been thinking about it?
It's never easy to make such a big transition, man. I got to be honest. But last year, something really happened, man. It kind of clicked inside of me that really changed me for the better. Around June in 2022, I took a leave of absence from Bank of America, where I had been working hard, winning all sorts of awards, won the top award, something called Chairman's Club. It's like the top of the top loan officers. But through all of that hard work, Jared, I found that my quality of life was not what I wanted it to be, man, just to be honest with you. Just working really hard, not being able to spend a lot of time with my kids. So that was kind of the turning point for me mentally. But ultimately, I kept working at Bank of America, but I had made a plan that I needed to get my real estate agent network healthy enough to the point where I felt comfortable to leave. And then once I would say maybe around January came, I was like, okay, now's the time to really set my foot forward and make this happen. So over the last few months, I really worked hard to establish those or solidify those realtor relationships. And now here we are. I just made my transition as of last week. I put in my 2 weeks notice a couple weeks ago. And now I am in this new role at Edge Home Finance as an independent loan officer. And I couldn't be happier with the transition that I made, man. So to answer your question, it was difficult. But when I look back on the reasons why, it was more than just opportunity. It was more about quality of life and being able to be there for my family and my kids a bit more consistently than I have been in the past.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So for someone who's going from, again, a consistent in-house lead source to generating your own leads or generating your own lead sources, what does that look like? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. For me, it's all about relationships. It's finding ways that I can actually add value to a real estate agent's book of business and to their way of life and how they work. It's not always about, hey, real estate agent, let me get some leads from you. I don't want to just cold call real estate agents and ask them for business when I can't give anything in return. So I'm just finding ways to actually add value to those relationships. I'm asking myself consistently, what do I bring to the table? What can I offer? And so just consistently finding new ways to network and new ways to offer value in those realtor relationships, and also just everyone else in my sphere of influence.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I like how, I've witnessed firsthand that you are working to you're working to basically create value, not just for your referral partners, but you're really getting your name out there to the end user, which is something that, sometimes you don't see as much in a role that could be considered B2B. I like that you're not just going to be relying on referral partners, but you've gotten really creative with your, online marketing. And I hate to even use the word marketing because, you're just finding ways to bring value to the end user.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, because you're helping that end user. Obviously, there's an opportunity to get your business out there. And then you may be, creating client relationships, that you and your referral partners can ultimately help in the end. So I've been impressed with your efforts there as well. So,
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that.
tell me real quick. A lot of people use the term mortgage broker as a very general term for somebody who writes a mortgage. I know that that's actually not a correct usage of the term. Tell me the difference between a mortgage broker and other types of loan officers.
Yeah, so most of the big banks, when you go to, let's just say Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, those people that help you with a mortgage in those companies are what are known as mortgage loan originators or mortgage loan officers. And what they do is they're only able to give your application to their underwriter. So whatever rules that apply at Bank of America per se, that customer is going to be subject to those rules that apply at Bank of America. Whereas a mortgage broker is licensed and they do something a little bit differently. The way they add value to their clients is they're able to find the best opportunity. So let's say, for example, your loan is not what we call in the business a cookie cutter or vanilla loan. Well, a mortgage broker can actually take your mortgage loan application and find among multiple lenders the best scenario for you that might work for you and get you the best pricing, get you the best loan terms to fit your budget and fit your needs that you have to buy a house.
That's awesome. So, pricing is a big one right now with rates being higher than they used to be. How much variance, when you plug in the client parameters and you get, multiple investors that come back, how much variance are you seeing in rates between, say your less expensive and your more expensive investors?
Yeah, so we are seeing a pretty significant variance in rates. Just to kind of go back to the reference I made earlier about the big banks compared to the mortgage brokers. Well, big banks have a significant amount of overhead. They have middle managers and executives and all these people they have to pay. They have to keep the lights on in these huge buildings, which, by the way, it's a great business model because they work well for their relationships. But on the mortgage broker side, we don't have as much overhead. We don't have as many things that we need to pay for. So we're able to find better pricing. And we have a lot more flexibility as well. And it gives us the opportunity to be far more competitive than a big bank would.
That's awesome, man. And I've seen that firsthand. I've seen some rate quotes from brokers that have come back lower than some other options. Very, very, very good thing to point out for people, to always shop around, see what kind of, options you find out. One question that I get a lot is, how early should someone talk to a lender? And, especially with me having a background in that myself, my response is always that it's never too early.
That's right.
You don't necessarily have to pull someone's credit to give them an overview of, hey, here's what we're looking for. Here's the credit scores we are looking for. Here's the kind of income. Here's the kind of debt, that could change, the amount that you qualify for. So that's my advice is, if you're thinking of buying, even if it's, a couple years out, it's never too early to talk to a good lender like Lance. And, when I say good lender, man, I've known you personally for a long time. And, I trust you to watch my own kids. And that says a lot, because there's just so many people in the business world that are sharks.
Yeah.
And, I'm always trying to work with like-minded people who care more about, doing the right thing than just making a paycheck. So kudos to you for that, man.
Yeah. And I would agree with you on that, Jared. It's never too early to talk to a lender. I give my phone number, my email address to everyone I know. And I just tell people, lean on me as a resource. Even if you just have a random question about buying a house or refinancing a house or what you think your budget could be based on your income, shoot me a text message, give me a call, whatever. I'm totally fine with that. This is not just a job for me. This is actually a career. This is something I do as a way of life. And I'm always excited to talk to people who are considering buying a house. It's one of the most exciting journeys that people can go on. And I know for yourself, Jared, you recently you're moving in and you're doing some remodeling on a big house there in McKinney. So that looks pretty exciting, man.
What my house doesn't have is a man cave in the backyard that I can go out and work in without my dogs or my kids making a lot of noise. So
yeah. I built this little office I'm in now, man, back during when COVID was going crazy back in 2020. And it's probably been one of the best investments I've made in my property, man, because it gives me some solitude, gives me some quiet when I need to get back here and work. As you know, like I said, I have two small kids and I hate having to tell them be quiet and while they're running around having fun in the house. So I'd rather just come on back here to the man cave and make it happen from my laptop, man.
So do you do the typical thing like, kiss your wife goodbye and I'm going to work now, and then you just walk across the...
Well, the thing about it, man, I'm in and out the house all day. It's literally, 15 feet from the back door, man. So I just walk in there, grab my lunch. I just cooked me some salmon and asparagus. And so I was in there eating lunch, talked to the wife, came right back out, man. So I don't necessarily have to kiss the wife and say goodbye per se, but I'm always in and out. They see me all day pretty much. And the kids are in and out of here when they get off from school anyway. It's hard to keep myself in solitude back here, but they'll definitely come and visit every few minutes.
I can relate because I was homeschooled, and I remember one time my older brother went outside, climbed the fence, came back inside, and said, "Okay, I'm at school now." But now you've never been tempted to just, tell the family you're working and maybe go watch a movie, an action film or something with the.
Every now and then, man. This is kind of it's a low key theater as well, man. I treat my TV like a little theater, So me and my son will come back here sometime. We'll watch some Marvel movies. That's his favorite thing. So, we just recently watched Ant-Man. That was a pretty good one.
I love it, man.
Yep.
Lance, I know your time's valuable. Appreciate you taking the time here, man. How do people find you?
Absolutely. My phone number is 972-998-3360. My email address is lance.wilmore@edgehomefinance.com. And I'll drop a link right here for my email and phone number so that folks can reach out to me.
Awesome. And guys, I would encourage, if you're not already, follow Lance on Facebook. He's doing great things. And again, he's leading with value. He's putting information out there that can help people, whether they ultimately use his business or even someone else's. You're just pushing, value out there and then letting it go from there. So good job, man.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jared. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for tuning in and have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Cheers.